Hi. So I've just put my baby to sleep for his little nap, and now I'm putting on the monitor so I can see if he wakes up. And I've just been, I've been kind of on sabbatical, I guess, for a year whilst I've been bringing up my little boy. And of course, I'm obsessed with relationships and with love. It's my thing, obviously. And there's no shortage of people out there talking about relationships and, offering advice and workshops and what have you. And so it's been good for me to have the time to check it out and see what other people are doing and offering, and there's some really interesting things out there. There's some amazing stuff. I mean, my go-tos remain to be particularly things like attachment theory. Stan Tatkin is absolutely amazing, but it's going to get really dark in a second. Actually, I won't bother going in there. What I don't get is the kind of new obsession with what seems to me to be like airing your dirty laundry on social media in order to get clients, it feels like. And I've spoken with some colleagues and marketing people as well about what is this about and do I need to do it? Because I've been wondering, am I not being honest enough? There's all this talk about authenticity. Am I not being authentic enough that I'm not constantly talking about my relationship with Warwick? And, it just feels, we talk about authenticity and it feels cheap to me that I would have to constantly air, my relationship. And so I've asked myself that question: what is it about me that wants to stop doing that? Is it because I'm embarrassed, or is it because I want to put myself on a different level to my clients to say that, my relationship is untouchable and it's perfect? Because it's not. And anyone who works with me will know that I don't say it's perfect, because I talk about my relationship a lot and I use it for examples because it's my real life experience. And I feel like I feel like there's a bit of pressure to talk about it constantly and openly, to be authentic. But when I really tuned into it and I've really considered what it's all about, and I realized that it goes completely against my teachings, because relationship, your intimate relationship, it's intimate, and vulnerability is intimate. There's this huge movement about being vulnerable on social media, and that, to me and to my teachings, kind of is beside the point. The whole point with vulnerability means willing to be wounded, and we shouldn't be willing to be wounded by the general populace, and we shouldn't be willing to be intimate with the general populace. Our intimacy is our beautiful, deep gem of a gift that's deep within ourselves, and that's the whole point of what makes it an intimate relationship with a special person so special, is that you choose to be willing to be wounded. You choose to be vulnerable with that person for a reason. Now, if you if you went around just being intimate and opening up your easily wounded and fragile places to absolutely anybody. This is what in my course we call doing the flood. We talk about the vulnerability loop and the levels of vulnerability and how we're able to open and close according to the situation and if it's safe or unsafe. And a whole lot of people who have this particular issue, this particular pattern of flooding themselves in a new relationship with people. So basically giving too much too soon and ending up being hurt constantly because that person wasn't ready or capable or able to hold you in the way that you needed to be held. And this isn't about being fake with people or putting on a facade. This is about choosing the level of vulnerability that we are willing to have with different people, using our discernment, which is a very important adult thing to do when you're going to have boundaries in relationship. So this is why, if any of you wonder, I don't share openly all of the ins and outs of my particular relationship. Again, those of you who work with me will know that I do talk about it, but that's an intimate relationship that I have with you. but it's not something, in my opinion, your intimate relationship is not something to be open to everybody. Your vulnerability is not something. Vulnerability means willing to be wounded. You shouldn't be willing to be wounded by absolutely anybody. That is not using your discernment. There's a huge, oh shit, I've had my hand on the microphone the whole time. I hope that you can hear me. There's a huge movement around also talking about narcissists and empathists and all this kind of thing. And, I have a background as a therapist, and narcissism is a real thing. I wonder if perhaps the term may be a little bit overused these days. But the point is, if we're having to watch out for narcissism, well, the step before that is to just take responsibility for yourself and your own boundaries and choose who you're vulnerable with and when. So my relationship's not perfect. I'm not going to share it on social media. There are tidbits here and there that I might talk about, but that's because my relationship is sacred for me, and it is one of the places where I'm willing to be wounded because I love and trust my man. We've built up trust over time, and we've built a very juicy relationship. I wanted to share that with you all. Thanks for listening.